And another new day with a fabulous lecture. This one is a really good shortcut to deal with a concept called gift taxation. Guys, as you would have heard, if you're at CA Inter and you're looking at completing DT, this gift taxation could be something that appears in your exam. Some changes have happened in gift taxation recently, and hence this video will give you in depth a really good shortcut to deal with gift taxation. So let's begin with, I'm going to put something on the screen to help you understand gift taxation really well. Just a minute before we start. If you're looking at any book, you could refer to any book, but in case you have the SMART book, that works the best. But in case you have any book, that also works to understand this shortcut on gift taxation. Guys, gift tax is in a chapter called income from other sources. And guys, how many gifts should you get in on your every birthday? I feel you should at least get 10 gifts. Hence it was 56 to 10. One of the shortcuts is 10 gifts, always 56 to 10. Also, guys, the next thing, gift taxation is always seen from the who's the recipient perspective. So whoever is receiving the gift, let's say it's your birthday, or it's your marriage, or it's your occasion, and you get a gift. So from your perspective, the recipient's perspective, we will see whether gift taxation is there or not. Guys, gifts in the Income Tax Act, gifts are classified into two cases, and we'll also learn both the cases. One as free gifts. Free gifts basically means you get married or it's your birthday and you get some gifts. Those are free gifts. And there could be some other category also, which we'll see once we finish free gifts. Guys, no matter who gets the gift, whether you're an individual, whether you're a partnership firm, whether you're an HUF, whether you're a LLP, whether you're a company, everyone in whoever gets the gift in that person's hands, gifts could be taxable. So people have a misconception that gifts are only taxable for individuals. No matter who gets the gift, they're always taxable under section 56 to 10. So now what is the shortcut, guys? No book will give you the shortcut, which I'm going to give you right in front of you. Guys, for gifts, the shortcut is that any gift that is given to you, or in the exam, any gift comes, we'll also solve one exam related question here after we finish the concept. But any gift that comes to you has to pass through three stages and three steps. The first step is it should be in the definition of property. That means if it's not property, it will not come here. Example, what is property? MISB SAD, MISB SAD jaw. I'll not give you the background of this. The how the shortcut is made is given in our regular lectures. But since this is just a shortcut to remember gift taxation, I'll just give you the shortcut MISB SAT jaw. Guys, only if it is money or immovable property or shares or bullion or sculptures or archaeological collection or drawings or jewelry or artwork or any other work of art. This is the shortcut to remember whether it is property or not. So let's say someone give you a laptop does not come in this MISB SAT-jaw, so hence it is out of gift taxation. Let's say someone gives you a bike is not a part of this, and hence there is no gift taxation. So please understand, guys, first step is MISB SAT-jaw, and it should filter from the first stage to go to the next stage. The next stage, step 2, are those situations in which there is no gift taxation. The simplest, I'll tell you guys, on your marriage, you must have heard that when you get gifts on your marriage, there is no gift taxation. So I've made a shortcut for that as well. And if it goes through the step 2, that means if it's one of the situations given in step 2, then there is no gift taxation. The shortcut for that is don't tax, tip, and money received from LAHUF. Guys, this is a shortcut. People who are with me in my regular classes know why you've got this shortcut. But for the others, just by heart this line, guys, and you'll have no problem in gift taxation. Don't tax, tip, and money received from LAHUF. Let's try and see what this means, guys. The first D is for death. In case you get any gift on death of a person, let's say someone dies and you get a gift, it's not a gift, basically it's a transfer, then that is not subject to gift taxation. Next is T. In case you get some money or property from a trust, guys, any registered charitable religious trust gives you money for a medical relief, etc., something, the money comes in your hands, it is MISB SAT-jaw, but will not be taxable because of these situations. Next, another trust, guys. If you give money to a family trust, this is also trust. This is, guys, also trust. But if this is you giving money to a family trust for the benefit of your children, so you're the recipients of the family trust, in their hands there will be no taxation. Next is I is inheritance. I'm writing it down here. If you get some money or property, you got some land or you got some flat because so your grandfather is no more in inheritance, then it's no gift taxation. Next, guys, specified persons. Specified persons, example slum dwellers, when they give up their slums and they get flats in a building, in that case they are receiving a flat, it is MISB SAT job, but then it will not be subject to gift taxation because the government has specified these people. Next is very important, a happy occasion, guys. On your marriage, if when you get some gifts, it can be MISB SAT job, but it still not be taxable. Guys, on your marriage, if you get some jewelry, it's not taxable, but it should be your marriage and you should be getting the gift, not your parents. Next, guys, any gifts received from relatives. Guys, relatives, there are 2, 3, and 2. This is the shortcut for relatives. We'll talk in the end about how many relatives. But please remember, any gifts that you get from a relative. So if your neighbor gives you a gift, that is taxable. But if your grandfather gives you a gift, that is not taxable because it's from a relative. Next, F. Guys, F is from a fund, university, college, hospital. They give you some money generally for some medical relief or some education, etc. That is not taxable. A local authority like the BMC or in Bangalore or in Delhi, the municipality, when they give you some money, let's say you've done something remarkable and they give you some money, in that case it is not taxable. And HUF, guys, here HUF is the recipient. When HUF gets any money or property from its members, then it is not taxable. Guys, here also, when HUF gives any money or property to its members, it's not taxable only if there is a total or partial partition. So which one is this HUF? This HUF is when HUF gives money or property to its members, it's not taxable only when there is a partition, whether total or partial partition. Guys, see the situation, I'm just repeating that line. Don't tax tip and money received from LAHUF. If it's one of these situations, then there is no gift taxation. But let's say you got some gold from a friend on your occasion of your birthday. Is that step one? Yes, because that is gold, MISB SAT job. Is it step two? No, friend is not one of these people here. So you'll go to step three, guys. Only things which filter from step one and step two. If they don't go out, then they filter to step three. And step three has three categorizations. There are three categorizations in step three. Guys, the first categorization is money. Next is movable property. And the last is immovable property. First, money. Money, if aggregate money, guys, aggregate money, that means whatever money you get, money, check, FD, etc., whatever you've got during the year, if it's more than 50,000, if the aggregate is more than 50,000, then the entire amount will be taxable. Let's say you got 51,000 on your birthday, MISB SATJO, yes. One of the situations, no. So step three, more than 50,000, yes, the entire 51,000 will be taxable. Next, guys, movable property again is a separate category. Here also, if the aggregate is more than 50,000, so let's say someone gave you a MF Hussain painting worth 55,000 rupees, then the fair market value, is it more than 50,000? Yes, the entire 55,000 will be taxable. As here also it is aggregate, here also it is aggregate. In case of immovable property, let's say someone give you a land on your 25th wedding anniversary. Is the MISB SAT joy? Yes. Is it one of the situations? No. Then you go to immovable property, and immovable property, guys, cannot be aggregate. It is seen always individually. So individually, if the value is more than 50,000, guys, 50,000 is standard across. And if individually it is more than 50,000, so let's say the land value was 1,25,000, then in that case, the entire 1,25,000 will be taxable. Guys, whether it's money or movable property or immovable property, you have to put them in separate brackets. Money, movable property, aggregate, immovable property has to be seen individually. And guys, whatever is taxable will always be taxable in the hands of the recipient under section 56 to 10. I hope you've got the point. This completes your gift taxation with free gifts. But there is another category, guys, where gifts are not free but received for inadequate consideration. Let's say you go to buy an apartment and you buy an apartment whose stamp duty value is 1 crore. Guys, the stamp duty value of the apartment is 1 crore, but you have got it for the sale consideration. The builder gave it to you just for 75 lakhs. So guys, have you paid adequate money? Adequate money would have been 1 crore. So you paid inadequate money. So here also government says this is a gift, although it's not a free gift, but it is a benefit, guys. It is a benefit because you have paid inadequate consideration, guys. Inadequate consideration. Because you have not paid 1 crore, you only paid 75 lakh. They can tax you at gift taxation. Again, here it has to be seen from the recipient's perspective. Guys, the good part about it is whether it is free gifts here, the first category, or the second category, that is gifts received for inadequate consideration or benefit received for inadequate consideration, that also is taxable under 56 to 10 only. And the same three steps, guys. The first step, it has to be MISB SAT job, MISB SAT job. And guys, let's take the same example, that 1 crore house, is it a MISB SAT job? Yes, it is immovable property. So you go to step two, is the builder your relative, or is it don't tax tip and money received from LAHUF? No, it is none of the situations, and hence you go to step three. Now guys, step 3, again there is the same three categories. One is money, one is movable property, and one is immovable property. But guys, there can be never a situation where you give 1 lakh rupees and you get 40,000. So that money cannot be for inadequate consideration. Movable property, if it's here, you will categorize it here. So let's say you bought gold worth 10 lakh for 6 lakh rupees, then that 4 lakh is your benefit. So here the benefit will also be categorized into movable property and immovable property. Here our example was immovable property, so we'll stick to that, guys. But again, just repeating, if the aggregate benefit, guys, if the aggregate benefit here, it's not gift, I'm going to call it benefit, because 10 lakh worth of jewelry you got for 6 lakh, so the benefit is 4 lakh. So the aggregate benefit is more than 50,000, and the entire benefit is taxable again in the hands of the recipient only. In case of immovable property, our example where 1 crore flat you got for 75 lakhs, be very, very careful, guys. First, find out the benefit that you got. Guys, the benefit is 25 lakhs because you got a 71 crore house for only 75 lakhs. So your benefit is 25 lakh. Then you calculate a benefit band. What is this benefit band? Benefit band is higher of, guys, it's higher of either 50,000 or 10% of what you all have agreed to pay. How much have you agreed to pay to the construction company? You've agreed to pay 75 lakhs. So 10% of that, 10% of sale consideration, that is 7.5 lakh, whichever is more, guys, is your benefit band. So 77.5 lakhs is your benefit band. That means, guys, you can have a benefit. That means it's normally okay to pay a little bit less than what the builder is demanding or the stamp duty value. It's okay to pay a little less, but you cannot pay. This is the maximum benefit band. So benefit is 25 lakh, benefit band is higher of, I'll repeat once again, higher of 50,000 or 10% of sale consideration, whichever is higher. 7.5 lakh is higher. Now if the benefit fits in this benefit band, then you're okay. But if the benefit, like here 25 lakh, does not fit in the benefit band, then the entire 25 lakh will be taxable under section 56 to 10. But why did we tax it, guys? Think about it. No one will give you a 1 crore house for 75 lakhs. What you've done is you paid black money, and hence the government here in inadequate consideration tries and taxes those black money. So in the hand of the recipient, it's taxable under section 56 to 10. So you understood, guys, it's similar. Money and movable property was aggregate, immovable property individually more than 50,000. Money is not a case here. Movable property benefit should be aggregate, and immovable property again individual if the benefit should be compared to the benefit band. Please remember, guys, you could have two stamp duty values. You could have a date of agreement and you could have a date of registration. That means the date you agree and the date you register can be different dates in case you're buying immovable property. Now, let's say the date of agreement, you agreed for 95 lakh, sorry, for 75 lakh. And the date of registration also, you had to pay 75 lakhs only because the price is the same, but the stamp duty value can change. Let's say the stamp duty value here was 80 lakh and the stamp duty value here increased to 1 crore rupees. Now, which one will you ideally want to take? Guys, if you take this stamp duty value, there will be no gift taxation because your benefit is 5 lakh and your benefit band is 7.5 lakhs. So you're within the band, so there'll be no gift taxation here in this case. But if you take the other one, date of registration, here your benefit is more than the benefit band. So can you take the lower stamp duty value, or do you have to take the stamp duty value on the date of registration? The government says that we will allow you this. You may take this. You may, guys, they're saying you may choose stamp duty value as on the date of agreement, but only if you've paid some amount on or before this date. That means the date of agreement, let's say the date of agreement is today's date, 29th April, and registration happens after 6 months. Can I take date of agreements stamp duty value? You can take or you may take, provided you paid some amount of money either today or before today. But that the payment has to be other than cash, guys. No cash allowed, no bearer check, no cross check, and no crossed a DD. If you've been in my regular lectures, you know this is the standard way. The government is discouraging cash. So hence you have to make a payment, and you need to make a payment other than these modes. In that case, you can choose the stamp duty value on the date of agreement as well. Otherwise, in all cases, guys, date of agreement on the date of registration will be taken as the stamp duty value. Guys, any gift that comes in your exam will pass through these three stages: step 1, step 2, and step 3, whether it's free gifts or whether it's gift for inadequate consideration. I hope you understood gift taxation, guys. This was a really, really quick session on gift taxation, and I hope you revise this often and you score the maximum number of marks in your exam from this. Thank you so much.